Outstanding crew in here this morning. Let's fill in the blank. Mike Tannenbaum. The Browns should start whom at quarterback?
Shedeur Sanders. What are we doing? Tell me a quarterback that's played 19 games in 6 years, who tore his Achilles tendon twice to come back and play a full season. Let's go with Shedeur. Let's see what we have there. We also have Dylan Gabriel and Taylor Green that I'd love to see what we have there. By the way, Deshaun Watson is also a free agent at the end of the year. Move on, cut your losses.
Yeah, take Shedeur, give Shedeur the chance. Wherever he's watching from right now, Mel Kiper is applauding. Andrew Hawkins.
For sure.
Fill in a blank. The Josh Allen, DJ Moore combination will be what?
Super Bowl caliber. He finally got the number one receiver since Stephon Diggs left. I think they got him at the perfect time. And if you watch early on, again, I'm basing this heavily on the fact that he has a professionalism that Josh Allen can depend on. He can separate, he can get down the field, it right sizes everybody else. He should have the weapons that he needs to get over the hump.
Okay, I like it. DJ Moore, former Bear, former Panther, now a Bill. Last one, Lewis. Did you see this? You know, the players rank the other players in the league. Yeah. They voted Patrick Mahomes the 18th best player in football. That, in your mind, is what?
It's disrespectful. It's a joke. Look, I think they also ranked Lamar Jackson, in the 60s, right?
In the 60s.
I mean, this doesn't make any sense. We understand just how dependent this position is. We understand what Patrick brings to the table, what he has already brought to the table, what he's already accomplished, what he's coming off of, the kind of things that maybe that broken down around him. I think this year you're going to see him again ascend in a different way. You're going to see his game evolve. I mean, you know he's not the 18th best player in the NFL. I mean, come on.
So you chose disrespectful. Yeah. I'm going to channel my inner Stephen A. Smith, and I'm going to say the correct word is blasphemous. Yeah. Blasphemy is what this is. Here's the bottom line of it, okay? What exactly is it they're asking the players? If what you're asking the players is rank the players who's playing the best in the last 10 minutes, then okay. Then maybe Patrick Mahomes wasn't the best player in football last year. But if you're asking them, who's the best player in the league? Who's the guy that if you were starting a team right now, you would take number one? Anyone who didn't say Patrick Mahomes should be immediately ejected from the conversation. Patrick Mahomes is not only the best player in the league right now, but he has already ascended to a category that none of the other current quarterbacks have. And that includes Matthew Stafford, as good as he has been, and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and anyone else you want to put in the conversation. Patrick Mahomes is already amongst the immortals, and he's still in the first half of his career. If you're starting a team today, Mike Tannenbaum, how many players are you taking ahead of Patrick Mahomes? Spoiler alert, the answer is none.
But that's not the question, and let me push back. If we're being ruthlessly dogmatic on how they played last year, I love Patrick Mahomes, first ballot Hall of Famer. But, Greeny, the way he played last year, he was not a great quarterback, and that was before he got hurt. He had one touchdown pass where the ball traveled over 20 yards. They were not explosive, not all his fault. So I understand why he was ranked there. If this is about starting a franchise, no conversation. But if we're being objective on how he played last year, that's about right. Hawk?
Yeah, I'm with Mike. I think the pieces around you vastly dictate how everyone sees you. The reality is they weren't scared of the Chiefs a year ago because they didn't have the receivers. Their offense wasn't as good. And so they were a team that didn't make the playoffs. Matt Stafford would never be as highly ranked as he is now had he not left Detroit and gone to the Los Angeles Rams. That's the reality for him, even though we agree Mahomes, quarterback number one, he's on his way to possibly battling Brady for best all time. But it is a what have you done for me lately kind of league.
One season ago, they lost one game and went to their third consecutive Super Bowl. What are we talking about here? How quickly does the world move that we have moved on from Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes, who, by the way, the roster has fallen completely apart around him. Yeah. Who is he throwing to? He's throwing to guys I've never even heard of half the week.
You know what? We consistently move goalposts.
We're moving the goalposts.
We consistently do this because, look, a lot of times what winds up happening when we discuss quarterbacks in particular, what's the number one thing we judge them off of? We judge them off of Super Bowls and wins, right? Even if they have tremendous statistics, and then we have quarterbacks, right? So like the Jordan Love discussion. I've heard this Jordan Love discussion coming up about whether or not he should be considered one of the elite quarterbacks. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, last year, Jordan Love, when he went to Chicago, he basically was killing Chicago. They can't make field goals. They give up all kinds of explosive plays. They have drop passes in crucial situations. And yet we're saying, well, Jordan Love isn't elite because, look, he didn't win the game. He didn't win the game. He can't win the game by himself. Patrick Mahomes hasn't fallen off. A lot of things have fallen off around him. But if you give him the kind of weaponry and the kind of support that he needs, he's the best player in the league.
But the question is, how did he play last year?
Well, is that the question?
Is that the question?
If that's the question, then it's a pointless question, right? There's nothing interesting about the answer to that question.
I'm not the question writer here, guys.
The question is, who's the best player in the league?
Last year, if you're being completely objective, I give the players credit. Like, that's pro football. Lou, Hawk, know that. You go by what you see, and Greeny, they were not good last year on offense.
They were not good last year on offense. I completely agree.
Right, so when you're the quarterback, you're going to get the blame and the credit, whether it's fair or unfair. They were an average offense last year.
But you know what, though, Mike? It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be the quarterbacks get the blame or the credit, whether it's fair or not. You mean whether it's truthful or not. It's not just... Like, football isn't just a singular game. It's a very dependent game. It's a very interconnected game, and we know that.
But to Hawk's
we
point,
know
Lou,
that.
To Hawk's point, Lou, does that mean that Matt Stafford in Detroit was being fairly evaluated as well then?
I mean,
no, but you know what? There are plenty of people who
player on a bad team.
He was an excellent player in Detroit.
Awful last year. Patrick Mahomes just has set a standard for himself that is so ridiculously high. He makes one play every single week that no one in history has ever made before. Hawk, give me a final word. Go.
I'm with you. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best, if not the best player. Every year we do this list. But the reality is the players are voting based on what they experienced the year before. Lamar Jackson at number 69 is even more egregious than Mahomes at 18 to me. So I guess I agree with everyone, but I'm also not surprised based on at 69, Lamar Jackson is sitting there as almost out of the top 100.
That's a great comment. Yeah. We're vehemently disagreeing, and he agrees with everyone. Coming up, we're heading back to Foxborough, talking about high expectations for a team this year. It all starts in week 1 when they face the Bengals. Give me Baker.
I think it's a good opportunity for us against the Bengals, and I think we're going to shock a lot of people this year, and so I'm excited to just get on the road and do that. There's no embellishing. I think you can't avoid it. There's the TVs everywhere. I think everybody's with it. Yeah. Hell yeah, I am. Everybody's picking us probably to have a losing record, so we'll see.
Stop me if you've heard this before. Baker Mayfield has a chip on his shoulder. The man was born with a chip on his shoulder. He's inventing a chip on his shoulder because I think most people think that team is going to win that division. I don't know. I think quite a few people think that they're going to win that division, and they probably should have won it a year ago if they weren't decimated by injury. How about Baker Mayfield and the Bucs? What do you think there?
Look, I think if they have their players, especially on the offensive line, and they keep that position group healthy in particular, I think they are right there. I think they'll be above 500 football team. I think they can win 10 games without a doubt. I think the improvement's going to come on the defensive side, especially as far as the pass rush is concerned. Everybody loves Reuben Bain, Keontae Scott. He really showed well in his first preseason game. He's going to be a dynamic nickel. Look, I think the football team, I don't think they're going to shock anybody. I think they're going to do exactly what people expect them to do.
Yeah, he's an easily aggrieved quarterback in Baker Mayfield.
Right.
But I agree with what Lou said. I think the front seven is where we're going to see a big improvement. Kalijah Kancey was hurt for most of the year last year. Vita Vea, I'm sure, will come back here at some point. And if Reuben Bain plays the way we think, this is a team that could pass the score, and now that they should have a pass rush.
And you mentioned Reuben Bain. Dominique Foxworth has fallen so in love with him that I've been paying close attention to him. And watch, this is Reuben Bain, the rookie who fell in the draft far further than he felt he should have. A good half hour after practice yesterday, Louis Riddick. That's Reuben Bain still getting in that work.
Look, I remember last year talking to the Miami Hurricane coaches and setting up some calls with Reuben Bain to talk to him. And they were like, look, we've been off the practice field since, say, like 4 o'clock, but he goes through an entire post-practice regimen in terms of taking care of his body, getting extra work with Jason Taylor. He's got to watch tape with the other players. He'll get to you about 9 o'clock. That's how committed he is. I waited for him until like 9 o'clock to talk to him. Then I talked to him. I think he was in his car going back to his apartment. The dude is committed now. He's committed. He just needs to do exactly what he did at Miami. He's going to be fine.
That's another guy with a chip on his shoulder. He fell far further in the draft. His talent, his tape suggested he should have been a top 5 or 6 pick.
No question.
Without question.
And you know, guys like you are just focused on arm length. That's all it is. Your general managers are just sitting there with a tape measure saying, well, his arms aren't long enough, so we can't draft him until Friday. All right, coming up, are the players disrespecting Patrick Mahomes, or is for Eagles, Patriots, joint